One of the greatest tragedies of the modern era is short-term thinking. People who have invested their life with the fullness of the insurance of the eternity will never be affected by immediate small happenings around them.
मूलं समीक्ष्य यत्र गम्यताम् सर्वेषां मार्गं तथैव प्रवृत्तिः मूलं समीक्ष्य यत्र गम्यताम् सर्वेषां मार्गं तथैव प्रवृत्तिः.
Brothers and sisters and my beloved confreres, a very hearty welcome to each one of you to the 18th Sunday of the liturgical year. These days I am reading a book titled Humankind, A Hopeful History, written by Rutger Bregman. At one space, the author mentions about the attitude of people in the most difficult moments of their life. He narrates the scene of the Second World War. The strategists of the war made sure that they destroy the whole city of London, destroying the mighty towers and buildings existed there. And thereby, more than 40,000 human lives were lost. But you would notice one very interesting thing here. In a short while, people recovered their confidence. They returned to their normalcy. Many of them, from the rumblings and the destroyed remnants of the buildings, built up small shelters and even petty shops with funny titles. Desperation is sold here. But after the war, the post-war analysts made sure to study this particular aspect of the consequence of the war in the life of the people. And they made one very interesting discovery there. It is not when destructions of the mighty buildings happen, people become desperate. The only time when you can make a person desperate is when you destroy the house in which he or she lives. When I lose my house, my home, I become desperate. I can withstand even the struggles and pains of losing my relatives and friends, losing all my belongings. I'm confident to recover many things in life back, but not when that shelter, which was my dream home, is lost for me. I believe this is something very true about each one of us. When I am affected in the core of my being, I begin to become desperate. This is where I see Jesus, a true philosopher. Someone who makes us to think not only about the day in which we are living, but about a future, an eternity that is being prepared for us in the course of our life. If you go through the past 2 Sundays passages, we see how cleverly and strategically Jesus is preparing his disciples to look towards this dream home, a future and the eternity that is awaiting them. 2 weeks back, we listened to that particular passage from the Gospel where the disciples are sent for the apostolic ministries, and as they return jubilantly, the Lord tells them, come away to a lonely place and have some rest. Rest is the moment when you are able to retrospect and see whether all what you did until now is for a future vision. Secondly, we see last Sunday, Jesus multiplying the loaves and the fish and providing food for more than 5,000 people. All of them were satisfied eating the food. But soon after that, Jesus returned from that place. That's where the discourse of today, which Jesus is making with the people who are coming to meet him, is a preparation for that final dream home, the Holy Eucharist, about which he would be communicating to them in the course of time. We see in the Gospel of John today an interlude, a stopover from the last scenario and a movement which is predicted to the next scenario. Here in this interlude, Jesus is challenging the people. After the multiplication of the loaves, Jesus goes to the other side of the sea, Capernaum. And people were looking for him at the shore of Tiberias. And when they did not find him, see the urgency and the euphoria with which they go after him, taking boats and rowing to the other side of the sea. And when they saw him, Master, when did you come here? Was the first question that they raised. But the answer of Jesus was very blunt. You came in search of me, not because you have a vision for the future, but because you wanted to have your stomach filled. Is it not a challenge for all of us? People ran after miracles. Miracles, in fact, are the words of God, and they do happen even in our time. In a lighter manner, we would even say miracles are meant for children. Just like children are provided with candy when they cry, some of these miracles need to be understood in that context. If you look and thread through the Gospels, the first part of the Gospels are full of miracles. But from the middle towards the last part, there are very less miracles. What happens there is the reality of Jesus' life. The mystery of Christ, the passion, death, and resurrection. They are not miracles, they are historical facts that happened in the life of Jesus himself in order to build a dream home for the humanity, eternity. That's where we need to have some clarity from the first reading today, how the people of Israel had been so stubborn in their attitude that they were not able to understand the plan of God in their lives. They who were brought out of the slavery from Egypt and are now towards the promised land traveling, question Moses and Joshua of their commitment to them. Why did you bring us out of the land of Egypt to kill us in this wilderness? We do not have anything to eat, they say. Yes, my brothers and sisters, the immediate needs were the concern of the people of Israel. They never could think in terms of the promised land, which is flowing with milk and honey. And that's where we see the second reading, complementing the first reading, tells each one of us, put off your old nature, the old and former manner of your life, which is deceitful, lusty, and corrupt. Yes, my brothers and sisters, this is a challenging invitation for each one of us. We need to evaluate our personal lives in the context of the words spoken by Jesus through the gospel. Am I looking towards a dream home? Or am I merely satisfied with the immediacy of my life happening? My food, my possessions, my people, my belongings. Am I stopping my thinking there? One of the greatest tragedies of the modern era is short-term thinking. People who have invested their life with the fullness of the insurance of the eternity will never be affected by immediate small happenings around them. Let us build a dream home to go over and to see the possibilities of our life. And let Jesus, the way of life for each one of us, be the light of our life. Enter into that dream home. Amen.
मूलं समीक्ष्य यत्र गम्यताम् सर्वेषां मार्गं तथैव प्रवृत्तिः